Ready? Y'all ready?
Ready.
Welcome to Creative Makers Podcast with your host, Joey with Steelblade Woodworks, Matt with Wacky Works Workshop, Jen with Jen's Turns, Jamie with JP Woodwork, and Jake with Northside Custom Crafts. Welcome to episode number 5, and this is the last one of the hosts is going to be going on here, Mr. Jake Thompson. He's up on the hot seat today, and you ready, Jake?
I'm almost ready. I think I got some sound issue going on right now.
Uh-oh. Well, that's about what we've been going through. We didn't even know if we were going to have the show up until a few minutes ago. So we'll be all right. So let's
Hold on 1 second.
Just bear with us, folks. We'll get through this. It's been a rough day for all of us.
Okay.
Yeah, you good.
That sounds good, Jake.
Okay.
You're good. Hey, so how's everybody doing today?
I'm all right. I'm almost all right. Hold on.
I'm almost all right.
I'm almost all right.
I was traveling in from out of town, trying to get home, and I think Jake was having internet issues all day. It just got going probably about a couple of hours ago, and so
Gotta love the weather.
Yeah, that Texas weather.
Jake Martin says, Jake, can you hear me?
We can't hear him. You got no sound, bud. You got no audio.
Got no audio.
Nope. No. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We're going to get a lot of questions answered today.
You're fired.
It's all right. Just bear with us there, folks. We'll get it going here pretty quick. Nope. You had it a minute ago.
Did you press the mute button on the mic?
Yeah, did you press the mute button on the mic? There you go.
I could have done that. Whew.
There you go.
Hey.
You get through it.
Hey, that's not as bad. Remember Matt was trying. I can't get my things to sync, and he was turning them off instead of hitting the sync. We're good. Deep breath. Shall we start it all over again? Or are we good?
No, we're good. We're good.
We're gonna get some good reels out of that little segment there.
Hey, are you even podcast, bro?
Yeah, even podcast. Hey, we're lucky. We're lucky. I'm online right now. It's been one of those days. It stormed real bad last night, and I got up, and the internet was all the way dead. I had to have the internet guy come out, and then I come out here, and the internet's slow, so I had to put a new router in, and then all this was I hit the button on accident. So I don't mind looking. I don't mind looking dumb like that. It's all right. It's been a long day, but I'm ready.
Hey,
there we go.
If that's the worst that happens on this podcast, we're doing good.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So, well, let's get started. You ready? We good?
Oh yeah. Let's go. Let's do this.
So, like I always started, why don't you give us a little bit about yourself, how you got started, and now end up where you're at with your
Jake Thompson origin story.
Now that you can hear me, I guess I can go all the way back and being a Gen Xer, there's a bunch of kids at home and we was always having to fix things, and of course mom's out in the chat and they never said don't do that, but she always put band-aids on us after we did it. One of those kind of deals. We would find stuff in alleys to make ramps out of and fix bikes, and there was a bunch of us, so if one bike broke or a couple bikes broke, you made one bike out of the two bikes and things like that. And so that's professionally, I've been a master certified auto technician before, and then had back surgery, which that's a life-changing thing right there. So I couldn't do the car thing anymore or race cars anymore. So I started doing a little bit of woodworking on the side. I found a different profession and it gave me 4 days off at a time. So I started doing a little bit of woodworking and craft shows and things like that. And started doing YouTube videos just to show the progress or show what I've learned or things like that, just to have fun. And then fast forward, here we are. I do it for a living and still trying to figure all that out. And it's a challenge every day, but it's a challenge that I'm happily taking.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Jen?
So we know that there's a lot of people out there that already know you. They watch your show every Saturday. But for those that are just getting introduced to you on this, what was your inspiration for that first resin pour? What made you go from woodworking to resin?
Heath Knuckles' video did it. He did a sphere. And there were two burls pointed at each other. It's super awesome, and the video was awesome. The project was cool, and actually Jamie ended up getting us hooked up with that guy, and I got to talk to him, and he gave me some pointers and stuff, and so I started out slow. I think whenever you see the turning videos, my little tray I have, it says "put stuff here." Me and Jackie made that. It's mahogany.
It's mahogany.
Mahogany. So we yeah, mark that down. Mark that time down. I know now.
That's definitely gonna get one there.
I can help you out. That is mahogany. So we carved it out with a CNC machine, and then I don't even remember what resin we used or anything, but we colored it. And Jackie's using a toothpick to put in the swirls and stuff like that. Turned out cool, and I knew I wanted to do that. I knew I wanted to do turning and stuff. I didn't even have a lathe yet. I think I just got the lathe. I think he gave me the lathe. David Birch gave me that lathe, so we made a tray for it. And that was the first thing I did for the lathe. So that was the first thing I did. But what got me wanting to do it was that Heath Knuckles video.
Nice.
Cool.
So I kind of met you doing your I kind of met you looking at your resin and actually one of your dust collector videos and stuff, and I've seen your kind of progression going up through your videos. What's changed fundamentally about what you do beginning compared to what you do now?
When I first started trying to learn how to do things, it was just to learn how to do it because I needed to learn how to do it. Now, when I learn how to do something, I need to learn how to do it. And I also need to learn what I have trouble with so that I can convey that to the audience whenever I do a video on it. Because if I'm having trouble on something, they're having trouble on it. So there's one half of it is I need to learn this. And the other half is I need to make a video on this that's as comprehensive as possible for people that need to know. And I try to make it as simple as I can. And I get right to the point of the things that they're going to have trouble on. So it's when I'm learning that first thing, I'm not only thinking about that. I'm like, how am I going to make a video on this? Or how can I help somebody by making a video? So
Nice.
Cool. That's one of the things I really appreciate about your videos is when you do the instructional videos, it's very basic so that people at all levels can understand it.
So here's we call it Texas terms. You could say the power activation device, or I could say hit the button and turn it on. Right. So there's so I can understand it when someone says that, but I know as soon as you use big words or complicated things or you technify stuff so much that you lose interest, you're already lost and you don't hear what the important stuff is. You just heard those big words and go, oh my God, this is complicated. But I try not to Texas terms it up as much as I can. Hashtag basic.
Basic.
Hey, if y'all got any questions for Jake in the chat, make sure you put the QQQ on there so we can tell that you got a question.
Yeah.
Jamie Pie.
There you go. So obviously you're known for doing your resin work. I've actually got a wood turning question for you. I would like to know, actually, how good is the handle on the Nova Nebula?
Hey, that is a several $1,000 luxury that I never had before. Jamie makes fun of me because on my Harbor Freight lathe that didn't have a what do you call it? The handle, the headstock handle to turn it with, or it didn't have a stop either. You couldn't lock it down. And I have this nice lathe, this DVR, and everything's cool about it, and I get super excited about the stupid handle on
it. Yeah, we started developing right there. We were trying to 3D print and make some things for him, and then he got a new lathe.
got you off the hook.
Yeah, because I was having some problems with that nut there.
You could keep working on it because my lathe doesn't have one. So I'm very jealous of Jake's handle on his lathe.
Sucker.
Well,
Right?
Yeah. Well, maybe if you get some big boy shirts, then we'll talk about it then.
There we go.
I tried.
So
I'm working on it.
So going through, you've got over 400 videos on YouTube, and you know, it's a lot. And I look up to you and see how you do things, and you know, we get to see a lot of things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't, and your struggles you go through. How do you do it? How do you keep yourself motivated to keep putting videos out every week, or try to? Because I know, you know, it's tough.
It is tough, and I think the challenge for me is, so this is your YouTube channel, is your portfolio. If I can slur my words, I promise I'm not drinking. It's sweet tea in here. It's your portfolio.
Some good sweet tea.
It's all the way. It's Texas sweet. You got to chew it.
I got the crunchies.
Oh god.
So you go back to your first videos, and I think everybody should do. You go back to your first videos, and it doesn't matter how bad it was, and they're horrible. They're gonna be horrible. They have to be. No one's gonna knock it out of the park the first time unless they have experience doing videos already. I had absolutely zero, and I make them, and then I would try to fix something, try to make it better every time, and I still do that with editing techniques or storytelling techniques. I think I'm not a natural storyteller like that. Peter Brown's a good example. He just it flows, and he just says it, and he does it. It seems easy, but it's not that easy. So I work on that a lot, and I change it up. I go from doing voiceovers to having a microphone on me while I'm doing it like that. And then I do rewatch my videos a lot just to see if which ones I like the best. And then the numbers that you get on your videos they say something, but they really don't. So you might have the last two videos I just put out, the edited ones, the making the bowl and the sanding video. Well, the making the bowl has a lot more views, but less likes. The other one has by 300 less views, but it has almost double the likes. So which one's better?
Yeah.
You know, so you have to, there's a lot of studying that goes on and things like that. And once you make, this is going to sound weird, but once you make a good video, or you think is good, or it's a higher quality video, you can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't go back. Like my mom used to tell me, "Hey boy, you know, once you kiss, you can't go back to holding hands." So basically, that means,
lady.
yeah, once you do something, you can't take a step back. So that's my approach on it, and it's hopefully I got a lot. I still have a lot more to learn on it, obviously.
Yeah. Cool. Jeannie.
Yes. There's a question from Ed Rouse. He says, "What do you like working with the most?"
The resin. I like doing the cartoons. I like doing the pours, and then I like seeing what other people make with them. It's kind of like when you see somebody wearing your shirt, like I can see Matt wearing the podcast shirt. That's going to make all of us feel good that somebody's wearing our shirt. So when somebody makes something out of one of the blanks that we make, it's like it's way better than me making. And I like making things, and I like like going through the whole process. The whole process is fun for me. But when somebody makes something out of something that we made on the show, I don't think it gets any better than that.
Nope, that's cool.
And by the way, Ed ordered some Yorkshire grit. It'll be in the mail tomorrow. I didn't have internet today, buddy.
It's killing you, ain't it? It's killing you. It's killing you, right?
Murder. Yeah, it's murdering me. Yeah.
You'll be
Shipping day's
packaging it
Thursday.
after the show, though. Definitely, right? You're probably staring at the boxes, ain't you?
It's over there. I just printed it off. It's over there. It has a sucker in there and an extra blank.
Maybe you can elaborate that a little later in the show, how the shipping goes. It's pretty funny though. Go ahead, Matt.
So as you mentioned, we've been around for a lot of the behind the scenes things that's gone on, and out of all the things that you've done and the failures that you've had, what's the best failure that you've had that you've learned from?
I'm still failing a lot.
All right, to date.
Probably I can say the biggest fail that I've had is probably the microphone today, and then
Dang, you took that away from me, man.
So, the Wolverine project. People don't know it came out absolutely. It's probably one of the coolest things I've ever made, but I had to make it 3 times. Yeah. It's a 4,000 gram pour. And the first time I did it, what was it? It was 4,000 grams. So that overloaded the scale. So I just put part A in there and then a part B. Well, when I was putting part B, it went out of limit. So I was like, I just got to get, like, what do you do? I just have to guess. You got a gallon of resin. Yeah, you have a gallon of resin in there, and you don't know if it's mixed right. So then I take it out of the pressure pot, and it cracks. It cracks out of his neck and just cracks all the way across. I'm like, well, that's done. So now, and I was ordering the resin at 16 pound kits, so that you don't have enough to do another one. Right. So I had to order another one, and so that takes time for it to get there. Wolverine's sitting on a toilet, and it had aluminum honeycomb all around him. So, and why is he on a toilet? Because it's funny. That's why. So, so I had to buy another Wolverine. I had to buy another toy toilet. I had to buy the honeycomb. I had to buy everything again. So you're talking, I did that again, and then so the next time I did it, and same thing. I opened up the pressure pot, and I could just see the crack coming out of his neck. And I'm like, well, I did it again. And I did it after like 3 hours. I took it out of the pressure pot after 3 hours. And if I would have left it in there, it probably would have been okay. But what the problem was, so now I had to order another Wolverine, another set of everything. And then I got the next one, and I cut a hole in his back, and he was hollow. I just didn't know it. It was that solid of figurine that I thought it was solid, but it wasn't. So the next time I filled it full of, I opened up his back. I used a Dremel. Shout out Dremel. Opened up his back, and I filled it full of 5-minute epoxy, and then painted over it. You couldn't even tell. I've shaped it to look like a shirt and everything. So and it worked. It worked. And then so I learned to, if you have a big pour, do it 2 separate, A and B, and 2 separate ones. And then I also learned check it, make sure that there's no air in it. And then the other thing is, if you're not sure, leave it in the pressure pot overnight. And it probably would have lived if I had done that. But everything had worked up to that point. But that taught me a lot of lessons. And the thing turned out cool. I took it to England. TSA looks kind of funny when you have Wolverine sitting on the toilet as a lamp. Like when you're,
hey mate.
Yeah. And then I even got one of those sneak attack ones when I was on the runway to go onto the plane, and they're hiding over in the corner, and they give us your bag, and I'm like, hey, settle down there, spark plug man, and they got it. So I got checked into. It was pretty cool. But it got to Al's Hack Shack in England, and we had a good time with that thing. That was a full circle video right there. So there's my biggest failure for sure, and I did it twice.
There you
go.
Yeah. Okay. Jim Spalding's got a question. Do you want me to read it out?
Yep, go
I
ahead,
guess I'll
Jamie.
okay, he says, your shop is incredible, Jake. The camera's set up, the electronics is stabilizing set up. What is the next big improvement goal for your shop?
I have I've needed to put it together for a while, but I have a flattening jig to put together. But since we started doing the show, I haven't made any tables or anything. That's all got pushed to the side. So I guess I would say the biggest improvement that we're going to make is just make the shows better, make this podcast better, do more for cartoons and make sure the website gets better and everything that we have gets better. It's kind of hard to start something new whenever the things that you have need to get better, I guess.
There's a couple more questions, and then I'll let Jamie ask his. Leah says, how and why did you go from pouring resin to making molds?
That's a good question. And we like Leah. So I bought some molds. And I'm not going to name brands. I'm not going to bash anybody that does me no good at all. So I bought some molds, some pin molds. I bought plastic ones. I bought silicone ones, and they were all, for lack of a better, they're all lacking. So whatever it was, the plastic ones wouldn't last as long. You had to take them apart. It was time consuming. You had to clean them, put them back together. And the silicone ones that are out there, they were short. They're only like an inch tall. So if you make them to sell, then you need to pour them to an inch and then cut off the top so you can see the swirls inside, so your customer can see it. Well, we were using those molds, and you don't have enough, and you take it to the pressure pot and you're spilling it everywhere. And we spill a lot of stuff anyway, even when we have good molds. So that was just terrible then. So I made a block mold, and then I thought, well, if I don't measure right, then I put some extra ones on the sides that were single blank sides, and I made those. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then we started on this prototyping thing, and next thing you know, we're in it deep. We're in there deep, and there's no turning back. And they've gotten better and better. And everybody in here has helped me do this. So this isn't just me. We've spent hours on Hangouts at night. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that nobody knows about, but we're on here for hours and hours trying to take over the world. Yeah. So that's that. I did it because I thought there was a need for better pin molds, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And now I really enjoy. I tell these guys all the time, if I could just sit here and mix silicone and pour molds, I'd be happy. It's bliss. I have a sports show going on when I'm doing it, and it's nice. It's a relaxing thing to do, and it's a good workout.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Got another one, Jen? Or
thank you, Leah.
Yeah, there's a couple others. Do you want me to let Jamie go, or go ahead,
Jamie? Go ahead, Jamie.
I want me to go first. All right. So you mentioned right at the start that you did a bit of drag racing back in the day. I wanted to know, was you always a slow kid on the block, or was you sometimes fast?
I was the fastest out of the slow kids.
He didn't get the response out of you he thought he was.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Run, Jake, run.
Run.
So the other Leah Forrest, would like to know, if you could only choose between one or the other, would you choose to do resin work or be a YouTuber?
They kind of go hand in hand, but YouTube is fun. YouTube is fun, and it's not like it's not like we're taking truckloads of money to the bank or anything like that either. It's fun, and the resin work's fun. I would say that YouTubing and making the videos is way harder than people think. Doing the resin and stuff like that is it's awesome. But if I'm not doing the YouTube, how are people seeing the resin? So they kind of go hand in hand. But if I had to just pick one, I guess it'd be the resin.
Okay. Another one. Are you interested or have you ever tried to do roto casting with epoxy?
Seeing as how I don't even know what that is, I guess the answer is no. Sorry about that.
And last one. Connie says, is there a project that you've started that you wish you had time to finish?
I have a walnut and cherry table that I was making, and it's like a yin and yang table with faces on it and stuff. And when I get the flattening jig done, then I'll go 6 more months, and you can remind me again.
So you've given back to the community a lot, and we've been fortunate to help you these last few times and hit a very impressive goal. And you're big in Make-A-Wish. And how did you get started? What got you to start doing this from the get-go and do all this?
All of us, everybody in the family had an old car, and so whether it was just like a show car or a drag car or whatever, we all had stuff, and we always put it in the Make-A-Wish car show. And that was, and you know what it's for? It's called Make-A-Wish Car Show, but you don't think about it much. And then we did it for years and years and years, and then at the end of the car thing, I started getting older and going, man, because there's a people give their speeches at the end of the car show, and the recipients of the Make-A-Wish get up there and they tell you how it changed their life, and it's really, it's way more than we think. It benefits people way more than we think. And we all have our problems and we all have our issues and stuff, but I would say everybody in this screen right here is pretty lucky and pretty fortunate and stuff like that. And I had kids young and things like that. I never had a big wallet or never had a lot or whatever, but I think if you can, I'm going to eat no matter what. So if you can give some, I don't know why you won't. If you're capable and stuff like that. If you heard the stories about those people that go on a last trip with their kid, or there's even kids that survive and then they're up there handing out the awards for the car show and stuff, and they're up there thanking you because they're probably the mental the trip they went on or the celebrity they got to meet or whatever lifted their spirits and it brought them out of it. So there's a lot of I guess I just got older, and when I started doing the crafts and we started going there trying to sell our stuff, and we always had a raffle, and I'm like, I don't even take anything to sell anymore. I don't sell one thing at the car show. It's all tickets. Yeah. It's all tickets because I don't need it. It'd be nice to go and make money, and people get wrapped up in making money. And once again, I'm going to eat. So we just go there, we sell tickets, and I talk to old drag racing buddies and old friends and stuff. And that's a successful weekend for me and for Make-A-Wish and for everybody that's in the chat right now and contributed. It is amazing what this little group did last year.
Pretty amazing. That's real amazing. Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Jenny.
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 You're getting lots of compliments in the chat there, Jake.
Thank you.
What do you enjoy making more as far as the videos? Do you enjoy the shop tours or the how-tos or making the pretty things? Which one's your favorite style to do?
My favorite style is the one that performs the least.
That's okay.
And it actually takes it takes me longer to do. I like the music videos. No talking, no nothing. Just getting some music on there and then editing the video to the music. It's time consuming. It's awesome, but I enjoy watching those videos and I like making them. And I know a lot of the ladies like them, but YouTube doesn't like it. They don't promote them. They don't. It does no good. The instructional videos they're absolutely easy to do. they're not easy to do. I have to have everything worked out and lined up, and I have to explain it right. But as far as the editing goes, I'll spend a whole day, like from sun up to sundown, editing a video. But if it's an instructional video and all I got to do is go to where I'm talking and chop, 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 and glue it all together, whack it all together, and then
whack it all together.
Yeah, and so I still spend a lot of time on it, but they're way easier. But my favorite one is the one that the girls like.
The girls do like it. I just want to point out, somebody has their volume on your phones. Can hear it back sometimes. Check your phones, guys.
Not me. I learned from the first time. So not me.
Not me.
Back there.
Hey, I barely got my volume to work.
Matt, go ahead, Matt.
So you've been to across the pond a couple times and been to Maker Central, and I would just suggest that would probably be an awesome trip to do. But you went there. Tell us about the experience, and probably one of the best, a maker that maybe you got to talk to that was pretty awesome.
That whole experience it's fish and chips are awesome, dude. Nowhere. My mom brought some fish and chips over last week. She was like, "How are these compared to overseas?" And I was like, "Don't even try it, lady. Just get out of here. You just want me to hurt your feelings." Yeah. So anyway, you go over there and everything is so old and everything's historic. Everything's older than our country. So that's a pretty good, pretty amazing thing to wrap your brain around as you're walking around. And hey, that fence is probably 1,000 years old, and it's weird. But there's people. I met all the big names, and some people are what you thought. Some people are less than what you thought. Some people are they're everybody's unique, and you don't know their camera. Some people are different on camera than they are. So there was no one really disappointed me, but Laura Kampf knocked my socks off, man. She went over there. I was scared to talk. I'm not one that goes up to somebody and just, hey, or whatever. But the weekend was running on, and I was like, man, I got to talk to her. And I was like, if she turns this way, I'm going to talk to her. So I went and made eye contact, and she came up to me, shook my hand, introduced herself to me. She checked out the Wolverine project and was like, that's so cool. And then pretty much she told me everything I needed to know as far as confidence and how the videos are going. And I belong. I went there. I didn't know if I belonged in the crowd. I didn't know it. When I went, that it was a dream to go ahead and do it full time and to be a full time creator and everything. But meeting everybody, and you meet people that do it full time, and they're like, she told me some valuable things that led to me going full time. She was awesome.
Her channel's Get Your Hands Dirty? Is that who that is?
No, Get Hands Dirty is Christiana, and I met her too, and she is awesome too. She's exactly what me and her had a great talk together, and she's awesome. But Laura Kampf took it up a notch, and her channel is Laura Kampf.
Okay.
Nice.
And, yeah.
There's a question. You used to have stop motion in some of your videos. Any chance you dust that off again in the future?
Who is that, John Boy?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He knows how much fun that is to shoot.
We're live, Jake. We're live.
Inside voice.
Like I did it not too long ago. I'm actually pretty good at doing it, but it does take a while, but it's one of those, and I've learned how to do it pretty good where you can't tell. And but I will do it. I'll do it for you, John Boy.
Just for your brother.
One more. I believe this is in reference to the fish and chips. Is it better than tacos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never.
Mhm. Well, it's fish and tacos, so you can't. I mean, if it was a fish taco, maybe, but it's if as far as fish and chips goes, I've never had anything even close to what you get at Jamie's. Not even close. Tacos, they don't know how to do tacos over there. They're out of there. We got
Using bread and stuff.
I don't even know how to do anything Mexican food. I think I know what a burrito was until Jake come to the UK.
And we were at a rest area. They call them the services. So we was at a rest area, and the guy and I said, "Let's get a burrito." And he's like, "What? I've never had a burrito." And he has his pinky up and stuff. He's like, "I've never had a burrito." And he's like, "Good." And so went over there, and I was like, "Hey, that's a real Spanish dude too. His name's Paco." We went and got a burrito, and Jamie's like, "Man, that's pretty good." I'm like, you've been missing out, Jamie.
Yeah. Good. Go ahead, Jamie.
All right. So one of my favorite videos, if not the favorite video that you've ever done, is the box you've done with the knife and the shadow box. Have you got a favorite personal video that you've ever done?
There is. That one is 1A, and I'll tell that story real quick. I won an award when I was in the Marines, and I came back home, and it was a knife, and I gave it to John Boy, and he was like 15, and then I expected he was pretty rough on stuff back then, so I expected next time I seen it was going to be broken half and bitten and whatever. So hey, you never know. So don't ask, don't tell. So he 22 years later, he gave me that thing and it had never been opened.
Wow.
And so I made a video on that. So that's the favorite. And then 1B would be he'll be happy to hear this. Bond is John's wife, and everybody knows I went through a divorce in 2018, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this ring? And right away they knew it. They was like, make a coffin for that thing. I was like, that's brilliant. So we made a beautiful coffin for my wedding ring. It's pretended like we buried it in the backyard and everything. It was awesome. It's super, super cool. Pretty proud of that.
I highly recommend to go watch that video. It is
a great video.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is being that you're like kind of grandpa here in YouTube, how have you you've been doing it for a while? How do you deal when you first started out dealing with trolls up till now? How do you deal with, because there's a lot of negativity out there. How do you deal with it?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. So last we talked about trolls last time, and I said if you don't have a profile picture and no content, that makes the other thing that makes you a troll is to be a butt, right? So if you don't have a profile picture and no content, you're still good, but you need to be nice. Somebody called me out of that. According to Jake, I'm a troll. That's not what I'm saying. So at first, man, I would really take it to heart, and it would bother me and stuff like that. But then as time goes by, you just go, where's it coming from? And then you go look and you go, oh, that person's not willing to put themselves out there for criticism, because they don't have a picture, they don't have links to their other social medias, there's nothing, so you can't get, they can yell names and run. So consider the source. I just consider the source on that. And what I first started doing was I would screenshot it, I send it to Jamie. And I think one of the first ones, somebody said, well, if I had tools like that, I could do it. So I sent that to Jamie, and Jamie got on there and told the guys, if you had all of Jake's tools, you'd still be a butthole, but he wasn't that nice. So
you always rely on Jamie to kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
Hey, they got rid of one on mine. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I've been doing it long enough now that I can tell somebody, had somebody say something, and I just told them, "Hey, go troll someone else. Go troll somewhere else." And they're like, "You have a YouTube channel, and you put yourself up for this." And I was like, "I put myself up for criticism, but not to be bullied by somebody that's not even, not even brave enough to put a picture up." So I've been doing it long enough now to where I can get them back verbally. And here's a trick for you if you want to. If you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel and talking to trolls, you can cuss them out, and then hit send, and then delete your comment. They get the notification and it says what you said, but when they go, it's not there. So if if your mom's watching or something, then she's not going to see it. So there's a helpful tip from Jake for today.
There you go.
Yeah. No, that wasn't going to be in a short there. We're going to edit that tip part out.
Way to
Go
go.
ahead, Jim. Shut up, Jake.
Inside voices. What would you say the most important thing is for somebody to know that's just starting a YouTube channel?
That you don't realize it, but somebody's watching. You don't realize that we get people, and we're all in the cartoons, and there's people that come in all the time and say, "Hey, there was somebody last week that was like, I used to watch your CNC videos." Well, that was 5 years ago, and they're still watching, and it doesn't matter if you got 4 views on a video. That's 4 people that watched you. So whatever you want to take out of that, whether it means behave or put out good information, or hey, it might be your mom. We have people that are 75 years old in the chat. So how do you want to portray yourself? How do you want to? It's going to be up there forever. Somebody is watching. Somebody's watching, and they're going to remember. And there's 42,000 subscribers or whatever, but there's one of me, and they hang on your words, and they know. So if you think, "Oh, today I'm just going to mess around," it's probably people are watching. So you need to watch what you're doing, and it's okay to have fun and stuff, but be able to suffer the consequences of your actions, I guess is a pretty good, because people are watching, they're paying attention, and you might think, "Oh, my videos only get 50 views." That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hashtag keep it classy, folks.
Keep it classy. Leah would like to know, how did Saturday morning cartoons start?
Jamie and I. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Why don't you give a little bit of background about Saturday morning cartoons also? Because you haven't really talked much about. We just say cartoons, assuming that everybody knows. So there you go.
I'll start off with how it started. It was Jamie and I were on a different podcast. I had just started being part of it, but he did it for 5 years. And it was kind of coming to an end, and it ran its course or whatever. And then we're like, okay, when I quit my job and start doing this full time, we'll do a podcast. Well, we've started doing the virtual craft festival. We built this resin room in 6 days. Matt was here. David Birch was here. We did that. The next week, that Saturday after we built it, I had a live in here, and we haven't missed a live yet. We haven't missed a live since then. So what me and Jamie were doing was we were just like, okay, we'll have it on a Friday, and we'll have it on a Thursday or Saturday. And then somehow or another, I think I said something about, this reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons, and you got your buddy, you got all the, your family's in the living room, and the kids are watching the cartoons, and nobody's fighting, and it's chilled out, and no drama. And so I was like, this Saturday morning cartoons, and it just stuck. Yeah. So we decided on that time, 10 o'clock in the morning Central Time. So it's where, Jen's in California. So it's morning there. It's still morning in New York. And, sorry, UK, you guys are just out of there. It's afternoon there. But Saturday morning, it's morning, everybody in the continental United States. And so, but it has turned into that. And it has turned into Saturday morning cartoons for adults. And it's a bunch of people they're drinking their coffee and they're just in there. And I don't even really think it matters what I make. I try to make cool things or whatever, but it's everybody's in the chat together, and me and Jamie are telling jokes, and sometimes I don't understand what he says, and sometimes he's not listening to what I say. And we have our days or whatever, but we always have fun, and it's taking care of itself. So it's like a hobby that takes care of itself, and it's all the fun. So we started off wanting to do a podcast, and then we started doing a live show, and now we got the live show going, and now we're on the podcast because we got other people who want to do podcasts, and Joey grabbed this thing by the horns, and here we are. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Nice.
So people that see you now notice that you're doing a lot of resin, you do silicone casting, but they might not look back to where you were before. And you have a lot of things that you've built, like the J Bates, a version of J Bates miter saw station, and you did CNC work, and you got your 2 band saws and your dust collection and everything else you got in there. But if you had all the money in the world, no holds bar, what would be your one tool that you'd want right now?
I want a bigger oven.
Did not see that coming.
I did not either.
Me neither.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to say bandsaw mill because he ain't got any trees. But
no. No, I would get a bigger oven that way, because I have to be done stabilizing by cartoon time.
Yeah.
But because by the end of the week comes up, we need that oven to heat the molds up in. So I would get another oven like that, or a bigger one, and then another pressure pot too. So we've gotten pretty fast at this stuff, and if we could even just mix more at one time and fill 2 pressure pots up at one time, or something like that. But man, I have the tools, I have the capability to do whatever we want to do. But it's just getting materials and stuff like that. But if I was going to go buy something right now, it'd be an oven like that one, but it'd probably be the ridiculous one.
I'm going to send you a picture of mine.
That's a and me.
That's
a and me.
Of course. Yeah.
You're talking about your oven, right?
No comment, man. No comment.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie?
Yeah. So I recently saw online that you made some of the finest silicone molds on the interwebs at northsidecustomcrafts.com. Can you confirm or deny this?
It says it on the internet, dude.
Must be true.
It has to be true. Has to be true. At the very least, they're pretty good.
They are pretty fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So through everything you've done, what has been your best discovery or development that has come out of your shop to date?
I think it's the jig for cutting the blanks. It's probably because man, I was cutting those things, I was just pushing them through the table saw with a stick, and they're small and it's scary, and they wasn't coming out that good, and so I developed that jig that goes on the Rockler taper jig. You put the toggle clamps on it and all that. I have a couple of videos on it, and I've sold a few of them, and that's not what it's about. You know what it's about, man, that thing's pretty cool. And when we use it, I'm ready to go cut the blanks because I get to use my jigs.
That is cool. And available. And available.
And it is handy.
There you go, Jen.
Leah says, is it an emotional roller coaster when you think something will go viral and then it doesn't?
No, it's I've learned. The perfect example is I made the TARDIS. A big, it was a pretty cool thing, and I spent a month working on it. the guy that I made it for is happy, and he actually helped, and he's in the video, and it was a good time. And I didn't even know what a TARDIS was before it started, and still not going to watch a show, Jamie. So so my expectations for that were, because there's other videos on the build that on the TARDIS builds that have 1 million views, 800,000 views, and I did that, and it got nothing. It got nothing. So that one kind of taught me just to get what you get. And on the flip side of that, I got one of those dust stoppers from Home Depot. I went and bought one. It's $40, went and got it. And I took the Dust Deputy and I did a comparison. It took me an hour. It took me an hour to do the whole thing. Only took me like an hour to edit because it's talking. So just like I was saying before, you just chop, chop, chop and put it together, whack it all together. And it has probably close to 400,000 views, and I spent 2 hours on it. So it kind of goes. And when I was at Maker Central the first time that's what I talked to Christiana about, was how do you take it whenever one of your videos tanks? And she was like, happens to all of us. Like no big deal. So it's something you have to deal with. So that doesn't mean I have to like tell myself, that doesn't mean to just halfway do it. Go ahead and make the most amount of effort and do it the best you can every time. And then if it does, it does. If it doesn't, I can at least be proud of that video or the project I made. And if, and the other thing about that is don't compare your videos to what someone else's is doing. Because you'll see some other videos where you go, how did they get, how come their cornbread's bigger than my cornbread?
Yeah.
But I just learned. I've been doing it like in September. I think for me and Jamie both, it'd be 8 years on YouTube. So we've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And one of those is one video might do good, and you might put it out on one day and it goes viral. You put it out, if you waited and did it the next day, it might not get anything. It's kind of a crapshoot.
Yep. John Boyce says, what video got you the most negative feedback? The money bowl or the money table? It's all about the money.
Which one did the million? I think they both went viral on Facebook.
The bowl they wanted to lynch you.
The bowl they were talking about, because I glued 5 $1 bills together and folded them like an accordion and put it in a bowl, turned it. It turned out pretty cool. So somebody asked if they could use my video on Facebook. So they did. I said, sure. Millions of views. And they're talking, you could have fed a family and you're horrible. You're going to prison for messing up money. And it went on and on and on. I was like, not going to look at those comments anymore, because it hit you. They're like, they were ruthless about it. It was bad. It was really bad. And the money table, pretty much that one just was like, you're going to, that's against the law and everything, and nobody knows anything. I put some money in and some epoxy, relax. The table's cool. It's right here. I'm sitting at it right now. It's my table. So anyway, it was pretty cool. But it did go viral on Facebook, and people did want me to end my own existence.
Goodness gracious. Was your channel started with intentions of a full-time career or just a hobby side gig? And that's from Mike.
Just not even a side gig, just was making videos over because I was making some cedar chests and like some crafts. I made some cedar chests early on, and I wanted to show some toy boxes and things like that. And I just wanted to like record how much better one was from the other one, or what I learned with each one that I made. And then, but I had no intentions of going full time or anything. I had a good job, and it was an enjoyable job at that time and everything. So I had no intentions whatsoever going full time.
Well, what's the atmosphere like in your shop? You just zone out and do your work, or you listen to music, podcasts? What do you do?
Oh, atmosphere. I was about to say it's 69 degrees in here right now. Allah, Jamie. I have, if I'm doing meaningless things or whatever, I probably have some AirPods in listening to sports. But if I have any machines on, or I'm doing anything of importance, it's silence. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. I can't. I've tried. Well, the one thing is I would have music on at the beginning, but it'll get copyrighted if you're making a video. So you'd have to turn the volume all the way down when you did your video. So, and I'm a believer in I don't need to be distracted when I'm working. I think Jen said this last week. I don't need to be distracted when I'm working with deadly machines. So it's quiet. It is quiet when I'm doing anything of importance. It's quiet in here.
Nice.
Jamie.
Right, I'm about to pay a compliment here, so don't panic, all right? Right.
Hold the phone.
So, pretty much all of your life, you've managed to stay in pretty good shape. May have been because of the military or work. Have you always enjoyed fitness?
Hey, anytime I can get into fitness, I get into fitness deep. You know what I mean?
Real deep.
And just so not everybody's so lost, I've worked like a rented mule for 30 years, and some things just stick, man. I'm lucky that a little bit of halfway in shape at almost 50 years old, it's stuck with me. So I do enjoy getting into fitness, but I've worked like an absolute dog for 30 years to have what I have and everything, and I got one of those. That's it.
There you go.
Thank you, Jamie, for that joke that most people in there are going to get.
Jimmy, you want to pull Mike Green's deal up there, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah, there's two real quick. I know we only have a couple minutes left. So Ken would like to know, can you record with an iPhone to YouTube? And then Mike Green would like to know, we have all had close calls with tools. What was your scariest memory and with what tool?
I got it. So as far as going straight to YouTube, I record with my iPhone, and then I Dropbox it to my computer, and then I edit on there. You can edit on your phone and go right to YouTube, however you want to do it. And I'm sure there's videos on YouTube how to do iPhone videos on YouTube. So you search bar of the YouTube for the YouTube videos. And then the other one is, not to go into too much detail or whatever, but I came out here one morning. I was drying some wood in the toaster ovens, and I came out here, and the shop was full of smoke, and there was some fire, as Anita Ball would say. There's some fire in there, and I took care of it, and it was scary. And I bought that big oven that day, and I don't care if I have to go into debt, borrow money, get a paper out, sell some stuff, whatever. I got that thing. I ordered that thing that day, and there's nothing wrong with the toasters ovens, but I had it too full. And I think one of them got dry, and it opened up, and it was like one of those rocket stoves, and it was going to burn this place down. So, and it would have been my fault. And so you spend the money on an oven or lose all your stuff and look like an idiot. So there you go. That was the worst. That was the closest call. I've had some kickbacks with the table saw and stuff like that with pin blanks and getting shot in the chest with it. But I think that almost burning the shop down was probably worse than a pin blank bullet.
Nice. Well, not nice, but
nice.
Not nice. Not nice. So all right, let's go around and just kind of say what we got coming up, and if you want to go ahead and kind of announce who next week's guest is going to be. It's going to be pretty cool. So go ahead.
Next week is Carrie Gersh from Blue Cherry Art Studio. She's going to be awesome. She does awesome resin art, all kinds of it. She's most known for the ocean art, and she's super nice, and it should be a good conversation. And we'll see you guys on Saturday morning cartoons. We're going to be doing, if Jackie shows up, if Jackie shows up, we're going to be making a plaster hand for her so we can make a silicone mold, and then we'll have another hand to make resin casts out of. So
Nice.
Here you go. See you Saturday.
Very cool. Oh, hello everybody. I've got always surprises me when I go on the big screen. I'm like, whoa. So I'll be working on a new job that I just got this evening. I have to engrave some fireman's axe handles. So that's going to be fun to figure out that curve and getting the text just right. And I just launched some swag t-shirts and stuff on my Etsy.
Nice.
And so we'll see. We'll
Go
see
buy
how
a
that
shirt.
stuff goes.
Go buy a shirt.
Sure.
I have been filming my shop for a shop tour and got distracted by a squirrel called CNC, and been working on my CNC quite a bit. I was just about done, and squirrel. And so I've been working on the CNC a lot, and but I'll be getting that video out one of these days. So
Then you messed up the AC,
Very,
dude.
very good.
oh yeah,
Dude, that's a story. We got to keep
Bad
that
story.
one. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a good one. This is a good one.
Me, I made a tuna bowl a few days ago, and I wasn't exactly happy with how it turned out. So I've been repurposing that. So that's what I've been up to. So I'm gonna get back to that tomorrow.
Nice.
Nice.
So I haven't had a whole lot of time in the shop, but work's been taking a big part of it. But we're still trying to get some 3D prints done, and hopefully, well, I was going to build a workbench, but I think I have now been rerouted by the wife. So I think I'm going to have to put that on the back burner because she wants a table for the back patio. So I'm gonna be doing
Built-in
some-
backsplash.
Make her a workbench for the back patio.
Yeah, I don't think that'll go over very well. So I think we're going to be making a kind of a resin top table of some sort. But anyhow, that'll be out. But anyhow, please remember to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, and if you want to support, you can go down. There's follow the links, and we've got some swag available. And till next week. Hope to see y'all.
Blue Cherry Art Studio.
Yeah,
Blue
yeah,
Cherry
yeah.
Art Studio.
Same time,
There you
same
go.
place, same ugly faces. Except for Jen. Except for Jen.
Except for Jen.
Bye-bye.
Except for Jen.
Welcome
Bye.
to Create. Wrong one. They don't want to play. What's going on? It had to end this way, right?
Yeah, we're going out the
It
way
has
we
to.
came in.